Okay, the tensioner is out. 12mm heads, 3 bolts. There's one here, 2 here. And now we have access to that bolt a little bit easier. I'm gonna go ahead and remove it and see what we got. Okay, that's out. Now I think I forgot one at the very beginning. Remember how when I got this one, the long one out? There's got to be another one underneath here. Yeah, there's another one underneath right here. So I'm gonna get that. All right, guys, that's out. That was another long one, right underneath this one, directly underneath here. Now I got the socket in there with one extension, and then once I had enough room, I put the second extension, and I finally found the head of the bolt. So there is a bolt in there, right in the center. And that should be the last one, hopefully. Okay guys, it's finally loose. I still got my extension and the bolt in there, but it started coming out. I had to hit it with a little rubber mallet, and so it get disconnected because it's been on there forever, right? So it's kind of glued on there. But anyway, it's coming out. I'm gonna go ahead and remove it. Okay, so it doesn't want to come out just yet because it has that hose connected to the intake. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove it from here. Squeeze the clamp and get it out. That's for the PCV valve or something, or PCV system. All right, guys, I got the hose out, and the only thing holding me back is this plug that I didn't see from the bottom. I get that out of the way, and the manifold is out. That one's out, and then I noticed I got another one here. So that's 2. Let me see what else. Yeah, I think that's it. So that one, and then this one. There it is, guys. This is how it looks from, this is the part that you don't see. The part that's connected to the engine. There's that hose. The way I got this hose out of the way is by using, not only did I spray it with lubricant, but I use hooks. So I don't want to damage, you take the clamp out and then you squeeze the hooks in between and you work it. Kind of like getting unstuck, breaking the seal from the nipple. Did the small one, then I did the big one. With the big one, I was able to pull it back and it came out. I also, like I said, I sprayed it with lubricant. That helps. There's that bolt, the one in the center, still there. Be careful because it can come out now. And the 2 plugs, the 2 last electrical plugs that were connected, they were holding me back. This one and this one. They're both squeeze and pull here. This one squeeze and pull here. Nothing to it. All right. Now I'll put that away. This is how the engine looks without it. This is your knock sensor, which was attached to the bottom of the manifold. That's where you don't have to unplug it. Actually, well, it's not connected to the head. Yeah, you don't even have to unplug it. If it's not in the way, I don't think we have to yet. This is your PCV valve system. This hose went on here. This is where the little hose went on from the intake. That's your starter motor. And I don't know what this is. This is kind of like reminds me of an EGR valve system, but maybe something like that in this car. Maybe this is the EGR valve. And that's usually gets connected to the exhaust. Anyway, if any of you guys know what this is, let me know in the comment, please. I'm not a Mazda expert, but I'm slowly becoming one. All right, let's see what's next. All right, so what I'm thinking is we definitely got to remove the upper radiator hose. That's the lower over there, so we don't have to remove that. That's attached to the block. But we have to remove whatever's back here attached to the head. If I'm not mistaken, that's attached to the head. So there's bolts there, and I can't have access to them unless I remove the hose first. So I might have to take the battery out so I have access to whatever is in the back and make sure we are good. We also got to take that cover off for the exhaust manifold. Get that out of the way. But I'm gonna go ahead and remove the battery so I have a better view of what we got going on back here. And to remove the battery, it's just simple stuff. You take your negative and positive out. There's usually a bridge right here. Take that out, take the battery out. Mine is almost out. And then you have to take off the battery box, and you have to remove the connection from the computer. You can go ahead and disconnect those. Take the battery box out. It has 2 bolts underneath with the computer. All right, guys, here's the battery box with the computer. So it usually has 1 bolt, another one, and another one. It has a cover here. It has the piece that goes across. The connectors to the computer. And what else? And the 2 connector harnesses that go on here. And maybe something here. And you just gotta see what you gotta do. Remove the wiring and stuff. And now that's out. And now we have a better look, a better view of what we got to take off. These are the computer plugs right here. The ECM plugs. All right, we're gonna go ahead and work on this hose now. Remove this hose, get it out of the way. And then we'll see how we remove that and this off the head of the cylinder head. All right, guys, so I'm not gonna disconnect the hoses yet. I think I'm gonna remove this thing, and that's gonna come with the hoses. I think that's a thermostat house. No, that's not a thermostat housing. Anyway, I'm gonna remove this housing that is attached to the hose, and attached to this hose, and attached to this hose. And this hose is not attached, but it has a clip. So I think with the 4 bolts removed, I'll be able to move that out of the way. And then I'll do the same thing with that piece. These are gonna be 8mm, that's gonna be 10mm. This one seems like it has 4 bolts. That one seems like it has 2 bolts. Okay, I just took the first one out, and I went through here to get it. And it's out. I'm gonna get to the next one. All right, guys, so all 4 bolts are out, and she is completely loose from the head. Here's the 4 bolts. Now we're gonna work on that thing. That's next. 2 bolts, and that's out. Okay, so I got this part removed out of the way. This one and this one. So now I know that the head should be free when it comes to this side. This is hanging, and this is hanging. Okay. Here's the bolts. This one had a bracket, this one didn't. This one is the one on this side. And here's the 4 bolts for the other piece right up here. So make sure you don't lose your bolts. Put them together somewhere. All right, then now we're gonna move to, so we are free here, we are free here. Now we're gonna free it up in the back by removing the cover for the exhaust manifold. We might have to remove, the injector, the oxygen sensor plug, the cover, to have access to the bolts. All right, fellas, I got this loosened up, and I also remove the bolts from this bracket right here on the side. It gave us more room so we have access to the bolts on the manifold. Yeah, so like I was saying, so I removed these 2 bolts from here, and here's the bolts for the cover. They're pretty rusty, but they came out pretty good. I mean, easy. And I dropped one, I gotta go find it. So here's all the nuts. There's 6 nuts holding the exhaust manifold. But I think I have to remove the actual studs out of the way because the exhaust has no give, no slack when it comes to moving it back. And I think it will be easier to pull the head up, and in order to do that, those studs got to be removed. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a socket and remove those. Hopefully they come out as easy as these nuts. These nuts came out so easy. So did the bolts for the cover. So I got the nuts out, and it seems like I'm gonna have to remove the studs, because in order to remove the head, like pulling it up, I'm probably gonna have to remove the studs. I don't have enough slack on the exhaust to move it out of the way. So that should come out easy. I mean, this came out easy, so why not the studs? I'm gonna get a tool for that, get ready, and start removing the studs too. I was wondering why I got all the studs removed and all the nuts, and I still couldn't move the exhaust manifold. It's because there is one more. So instead of 6, there are 7. Let me see if I can, there it is. Right there. There's one more that I missed. I'm gonna finish getting that out, and hopefully we can get it to at least wiggle, and we know it's completely loose. But so far it's 7, not 6. All right, guys, I got them all 7 of them. So just to make sure, we're gonna see if it comes. Yep, it's completely loose, as you can tell. Yep, completely off the head. And then this is what I ended up using to remove the studs. This is an E8. E8 Torx. That's how it goes. You loosen up the nut and then you remove the stud. You don't have to take the nut all the way out like I did. Thinking that the next thing we're gonna do, now we're gonna be working on the front of the engine. So that mount is gonna come out. This antifreeze jug has to come out to have access to the mount easier. And then we're gonna work underneath here in front of the engine, removing the timing cover. So let's get this jug out of the way. All right, so I wasn't able to remove the cover, the coolant reservoir, because it's being stubborn, but I still have access to the motor mount just from removing the hoses. I should be able to get to these no problem, and that one I already got to, so I'm gonna get to the one in the back. I got the engine jacked up, supported, and I'm gonna go ahead and remove the motor mount. And with the bolts removed, should be able to, with the bolt removed and the engine supported, I should be able to remove this. There you go, like that. Oh, wow, that motor mount is shot too. Look at that. It's all torn up. It's not supposed to be like that. Anyway, but I was able to get it out without removing the jug here, the reservoir jug.